Hello world, WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of EEPower. So I'd like to preface this episode with a little unfortunate thing about the system. Well, two things really. One of them, obviously the entity lag, is going to become an issue later on, and I'm going to have to worry about that, well, later on. However, it's still a bit of an annoyance at this present time. Well, it takes a while for the system to start up, rather the Minecraft to start up, etc. Now, number two is how this breeder operates. Now, what it seems like is this breeder operates by having all the entities, and it spawns the cows itself. So the breeder spawns the baby cows. Let me get away from this racket. The breeder is actually the one to spawn the baby cows and not the actual cows themselves. So this obviously causes a bit of an issue in the sense that, well, it needs to detect a certain amount of room. Now, I left this for a good half hour with all the wheat in there, and it didn't help at all. Just the wheat sat there and sat there and sat there and continued to sit there, or whatever the heck it is called, for a good long time, and frankly nothing happened. So this obviously cannot be our be-all end-all solution, obviously, with the system that we have right now. We will probably want to use rituals to make this better, but considering that there's a lag issue involved as well with all these entities, I'm thinking that it might actually be a better use of our time to develop something that's a bit more permanent. Now, that's a lot of cows, will give us a lot of LP, however, the drawbacks far outweigh the benefits, at least with this system. Maybe if there was some sort of ritual to mimic the abilities of the cows to populate itself, that might be better, like some sort of entity that wasn't an entity and then could just be used for the breeding. That'd be nice. However, with how the breeder is, without me going into ritual reagents as well as the stuff required to breed this stuff, oh gosh, super spider, well, nothing's gonna work. Anyways, I'm going to go move this a few times, get a few diamonds, because we're going to need to finish our system, and we're also going to need to figure out how to do a bit of stuff in Applied Energistics 2. Why don't we get started with that? Now, I think I might have said it in the episode where I was basically muted the entire time. In fact, I should probably check that. Nope, I'm not muted, since you can hear me. Now, I might have noted this already, but poor lead ore seems like a poor choice for the ore generation of any sort of mod. Because, well, let me show you this. We have poor lead ore here. What we get are obviously facades, but we get a single lead nugget out of the entire endeavor when we do it for thermal expansion. And if we check thermal expansion, what it does is, well, it doesn't seem like there's many uses for thermal expansion to, sorry, it's not thermal expansion, which I'm well talking about, railcraft. It doesn't seem like railcraft has many uses for this resource. So why add a weak variety of something that is quite frankly easily obtainable? I mean, when you think of it, railcraft adds this ore, but it also adds regular lead ore. And I also believe that it adds varieties of pretty much all the different types of ores that there are. I think I remember seeing poor tin ore at one point, and basically poor every ore. And it's kind of poor and kind of annoying to have to go into our systems when we are just trying to process all the normal ores. I mean, there's no real use in it, and I find that it's pretty much just abject clutter at this point in time. With that out of the way, I still have a bit of mining to do. So it's actually been bugging me quite a bit, and what I think I'm going to do is go make a feeding station, since frankly that seems like the most logical thing to do. So we're going to And in case you're wondering why I'm saying that, we need to do so because out of redstone. Yay. Always a good thing to be out of. Thankfully, we only need 4 of it, so we don't have to run back to the base. So I'm running out of LP. I mean, I only have 5k LP, and having the system, which was supposed to be fully automated, not fully automated, makes it a bit of an annoyance. So we need to make a rolling machine, unfortunately, so that we can make one of our ingredients. Now, hopefully, okay, it is getting energy. However, it's probably draining an ungodly amount of energy. Not saying how much it's taking away. Probably that. Yeah, whatever. Whatever it's taking away, it's going to take away. And we are going to need it for our feed station. And we need it for our steel. Now we can use refined iron. Refined iron requires a blast furnace, so no thanks. We can use railcraft steel. Mechanism steel is probably our best bet, since all we need to do is chuck a bunch of stuff in there and everything should be, well, everything should make itself, so we don't have to worry about all that tricky business. We might have some steel. In fact, we do indeed have some steel left over from some previous experiments. So let's put this in, click it to start, and then once we have it, we'll just eliminate the competition by getting this out of the way. I can probably use you later, however, I don't plan on using you for quite a bit of time. So what does that leave us? It leaves us needing 4 carrots, because we're going to need to make them into their golden varieties. I would actually hate eating these because it would probably hurt quite a bit. And then feed station. So the feed station acts a bit differently compared to the automatic breeder that we were attempting to use before. Let's just get everything out. So what it does is it kind of does a round robin, periodically feeding a few cows at a time. Now I think I might be able to just slap this in here, and there we go. We're getting a few cows fed. Now only one of them got fed though. Actually, it might just use 1-to-1. However, I am not entirely sure how this actually works. It seems like a few of them are getting it, but I'm not willing to risk it running out, so to speak. There are a lot of hearts going around, so that is good. And it only seemed like it was consuming 1. I'm wondering if this is even an efficient manner for completing this. Because we still have those cows running amok. And we have those going in here. Let's throw that in there. Hopefully this actually works. So it's going to be a while before we can actually tell, because we still have a bunch of cows over here that are going to need to be dispatched with, so to speak. What we could do, move the babies, since it's going to be a while before we can sacrifice them anyways. We'll just move all those babies, which is going to be a bit more difficult of a thing than I imagined. Come on! I really hate the optics of this. Hey guys! Not getting what you want? Just punch a baby cow, and everything will be better. And we just have 2 left, so I'll just send this back to its original thing. It could work. It might not work. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to leave this for a while. Hopefully we get a few more baby cows here and there and everywhere. Okay, so now that we have that quote-unquote covered, we might want to actually have multiple feed stations, because that single one probably isn't going to give us the LP reserves we need. We should move onwards to another thing. Now, I went into Nether, thankfully did manage to find a stronghold, and did depart with a bit of netherwort. Now, netherwort, the reason we actually want to use this is for our magic lunacy. Right now, we are just basically using this as a seed crop, so that we can grow it as much as we need. Now, for those of you who watch my stream or have basically tinkered with Thaumcraft in any big manner, you'll know that these netherwort have a good magic aspect to them. So you can get one Precantatio out of each of them. You also get one Herba, however, no one uses Herba anyways, so it's of little consequence to us. It'd be nice if we could convert Herba into something useful, but I doubt that's actually going to be the case. So I'm going to hope that we can get some diamonds from this, because I'm really hoping that we can move on towards to something else. In fact, we might as well move to something else, because there's one system that we're going to need quite a bit of. Thankfully, we do have the sand and etc. over there to deal with it, but you'll basically want to see. The only question is, do you want to have it here, or do we want to have it at the other base? I think having it at the other base might be good because of the ready supply of all the components that we need. So I'll gather a few things, then meet you back at the other base once I have everything pretty much sorted out. So just need one more thing and we're good. Now there's one thing that we are going to need a lot of, and that is going to be pure quartz crystals. Pure quartz crystals of fluix crystals, of nether quartz, as well as certus quartz. And basically, we are going to need to get as much of that as we possibly can. However, we are going to need to figure out a way to automate it in a good enough method. Now, here's one thing we need. We need to have quartz glass. That's easy enough. We also have crystal growth accelerators. We're going to need a few things. Obviously, that's not going to be something that we need. We'll need a bit more certus quartz, it seems. Some charged certus quartz, as well as the regular stuff. Now, you want to have crystal growth accelerators so we can actually accelerate the system. I'm explaining this horribly. So what we do is we combine certus quartz dust or ain quartz dust, and we get some certus quartz or regular quartz or whatever quartz seeds. These seeds can then be grown if stimulated in some sort of manner, which will actually increase the growth. Now that might seem like hand-wavy mumbo-jumbo, but it's an easy enough science once you get everything going to how you want. Now the only question remains is, how are we going to get it such that we can automate it and don't have to be a huge, well, basically be a huge downer on the situation, because we're going to need quite a few things in order for this to be a good, adequate system. One thing is we're going to need a bit of space. We're also going to need a pool of water, and we're also going to need some quartz accelerators. So let's see. The accelerator is simple, although expensive to make. It just needs the flutes blocks, ME glass cables, iron, etc. And then we have a few other things that we're going to need to add to the pile. However, that's going to be a simple enough matter. Now, there's a few things that we need, and there's only so much that we can do. Let's see. We want to make sure that when we drop the crystals seeds in the water, that they grow to their full potential without being influenced from any sort of outside interference. To do that, we're going to need to quicken the growth, yes, but we're also going to need to make sure that we only pick it up once it has finished growing. So there are two solutions to this problem. One of them is simple, the other is a bit more complex. I think we might as well go with the complex route, because it will be better in the long end. So let's get rid of some of the stuff that we don't need. And what was I trying to pick up? Yes, we were trying to get some of the quartz. How much quartz do we have? We only have 8 certus quartz here. And I was pretty sure we had some more certus quartz somewhere else. However, it seems that we tend to eat that stuff up for breakfast. so we might need to look around a bit before doing anything. Let's start with the basic design that we're going to need. We're going to need water to act as the thing that will, well, grow. So we're going to have the crystals grow inside the water. However, we're obviously going to need to stimulate it, which is why I have a few things that we'll need to do. Does it need a source, or does it just need to be in water in general? Obviously water in general, because we did manage to get the fluix crystals that we needed. We're only going to be able to make one of them at this time, however, it'll be a bit easier later on. So here we go. We're going to make one of these, and I am dragging and dropping when I shouldn't be dragging nor dropping, but oh well. So we have a crystal growth accelerator, and we'll plant it here. Obviously not where we're going to want it. So we'll have it like that, and this should apparently not interact with it. So we're going to need a few things to be able to have this running. So this thing, okay, that's good. We need to send power to this accelerator. And how we're going to do that is we'll have, this should not actually be interfered with there. So we're going to need a better conduit for our energy. Rather, we need a conduit that will be good for our energy in the first place. So I'm thinking maybe we'll have the energy go this way so that we can hide it in the end. Okay, where are you? You are here, so we'll put you here, right down there, and we'll have this. Obviously, we already realized that it doesn't actually go to the accelerator at all, so we're going to need to have an acceptor, an energy acceptor, which is made with only a fluix crystal as well as some of our glass. We'll only need one of them, thankfully, because the rest of the stuff we have, although it might get expensive later on. So we have an energy acceptor. This will accept energy into the applied energistic system, and what this does is, once I actually get it, it will change the RF here into the applied energistics energy. And you can see it is working already. However, we are going to need to get it to work differently. So it's not accepting energy right now because it's going into the side. It can only accept energy when it's going into there. That type of side. So we're going to, instead of having it there, this is going to need to move locations. Do we have the thing? Yes, we do. Gonna need to move locations so that it actually goes in. So we'll have the thing here, this here, and this there. So what I'm wondering is, this will take wrong location. Supposed to be here. This is supposed to be running out of LP, aren't I? This will be there, and then we just need to have this go into the appropriate location, so we're going to need one more and rotate it there. Okay, so this is taking energy, but we don't want it to take energy all the time, because I'm pretty sure this takes a lot of energy. So we'll try doing this. Obviously that doesn't turn off the energy. So what we'll do is instead have this so that it's active with signal. That should be an easy enough thing. So this will actually only send energy to it when there's a signal. As you can see, it turned off. So it might need to be a direct signal. Let's try. Okay, it needs to be a direct signal. So if we were to put this here instead. Wait, I think it worked before. Okay, so it does take a bit of time to charge up. So just having this here, I need more slots. This here should turn it on. Okay, and that turns it off. That is all we really wanted, so that is good. Let's button this place up. We can put that there. Now obviously we'll need to block that off. And now we can actually have our crystals in there, and then we can grow it there. Okay, that's good. Now we need to move on to the next part, and that is what we use to pick up there. Pretty sure what we can do with that. Now, what we can do is use a transfer node from extra utilities. This requires, well, we're only going to need one transfer node, so that's stone, chest, redstone, lots of redstone. Extra utilities has always been known for using a buttload of redstone. Here we go, and we're also going to need some smooth stone. Stone slabs. Then we need to use gold, apparently, for that. I think that recipe changed a bit. I don't actually remember the last time it used gold. And we don't seem to have any gold, which is really unfortunate, and that is really unfortunate because we did not want that. And we are actually out of LP, so the moment of truth has arrived. Do I actually have any cows in my system that are ready for sacrificing? Because if we don't, okay, yes we do, thankfully. So we'll be able to carry on with our civilized conversation. Sorry. Getting a little ahead of myself, aren't I? Whew, that took a lot of effort out of me. Ooh, my goodness. Okay, what were we doing? Yes, gold. We needed a bit of gold. That'll get us our transfer pipes. Wait a second. Sorting, energy pipes, mod sorting, crossover pipe, transfer pipes. Okay, apparently it did not require gold in any way, shape, or form. Though it does require smooth stone still. And I am being a complete derp and leaving my smooth stone there. Okay. Can I make it? Good. So we got the transfer nodes, we got a few transfer pipes, so the transfer nodes are going to be able to basically transfer stuff. However, we're going to need a few things. We're going to need a world interaction upgrade, which is going to require lapis, iron, pickaxe, as well as a few things. So that's going to be nice and generally awesome, because you know how generally awesome it is. So that's for these. Gonna need the pick. There we go. And lapis. And for some reason, it does not like shift clicking into the recipe. I'm not sure what that reason is for that. However, it is what it is. Ooh, we're also going to need a filter. What type of filter do we need? We need an item filter, which requires sticks, redstone, and string. Now, do we actually have any string? We do. And do we have any sticks? Of course we do. However, they're in another continent and must thus be made into this, or else it will be abject failure. Okay, let's just check. We have a bunch of things that we can item filter, so we're good. So transfer nodes, unfortunately we're going to need to have some of the items first before we can start transfer noding. You should note that for later. However, we can just make those and get rid of all the excess junk that we seem to have picked up over this entirety because, you know, fun times. So let's see. We'll place the transfer node here. And obviously it's in the wrong location. Doesn't seem like this is something we can do post. Hey! Oh, what the hell is happening? Okay, not fun times exactly, but it will get the point across. And we destroyed the water source. Great. So we have our transfer node here. We're just gonna simply put in our world interaction upgrade here. And we're gonna need a chest here because then this will need to basically bring stuff. Searching for inventory, so you can see, then once it found appropriate inventory, it'll send it here. Now with a filter, if we open the filter, we can set what it can pull out. So if we put the filter here, it'll only filter redstone. So if we put another quartz here, or rather, let's put that there. So another quartz now sitting there, obviously it won't do anything. But if we throw redstone, redstone will then be picked up. So this process holds for other things, For instance, if we were to have Certus quartz, etc. However, the thing is, we're going to need to grow this Certus quartz seeds into the pure Certus quartz before we can actually set the filter for this. So let's pick this up, throw this down, turn this sucker on. Now, the thing is, this does take quite a bit of energy, even if it's just one thing. So this thing is going on, powering up, and basically it'll take quite a bit of energy while it's moving. Okay, so 6 RF a ticket is generating, or rather pushing out. Might not be what we need, but we don't see any flicker in the power right now, but we will probably see that in the future. So if we check it now, we can see that it's 4%. So even using one of these crystal growth accelerators, it is going to take a long time for this to happen. So that is why I'm going to actually go and make 3 more of these. And 3. Okay, so pick up all of this random junk, which isn't actually going to be random because we are going to need to pretty much use all of it. All of it is going to be needed. So we got our crystal growth accelerators. So we're just going to need to place these 3. So here, here, and here. There we go. And then we're going to need to orient them. Now the way we'll actually connect them is by putting these ME cables, and then I'll put this here. So now it's very quickly, supposedly, increasing. So it's 29%, and after 5 seconds, you can see it's at 33%. So 5 seconds equals about 4%, and it needs to go through 3 stages in total. So it seems like it's going to take like 300 seconds, so like that's 6 minutes. That is quite a bit of time, actually. Now that I think of it, 6 seconds is quite a bit. So we're going to need to basically sit tight before we can actually do anything. Now, obviously, actually, I think it just grew already. And my math is probably wrong. So I'm just going to sit tight, then we can add this to the filter. Then there are a few other things that we'll need to add to the filter. For instance, we need to grow the Fluix crystals, as well as the quartz crystals, and you can probably guess how those are made, just simply by the same method, using the sand to act as a catalyst, or rather act as... I'm not even sure where I'm going with this. Chip chip cheerio! Okay, so our final things are done. We can open up the filter, get the redstone out of there. So we have pure Certus quartz, we have pure Fluix crystals, we also have pure nether quartz crystals, and these are the 3 things that will end up in the filter, so that we'll be able to pick up everything that we need. So for instance, throw these in, throw these in, throw these in, and they'll slowly wind up in here. However, it is a bit of a slow process, something that I am willing to live with. We can put in some more speed modifiers for it to search quicker. There's a few things that are happening with this. One is the searching, so this will search for an inventory to put the things that are already in the slot. Then there's the world interaction upgrade, which will make it search, well, the thing that's right in front of it, which is in this case the crystal chamber. Now there are a few other things that we want to actually do with this. We have 4 of these here, and now we already have the filter, so we don't need to worry too much. And we're going to need to add the thing to the filter here, since we do have an item filter that is raring to go. So let's see. Certus quartz here. We'll throw that in. And this should make our... There we go. Made sure to capture it before it got transferred to somewhere else, because that will indeed happen, especially when we add our filter here, which will need printed thing here. And if we throw this in, it'll then get sucked out, and then we'll be able to make the calculation process. However, well, obviously the calculation process is being made up there because we are lacking up a filter here, which still needs the diamonds, which we still don't have enough of. Celevi and all that. So if we check the uses for this, we can start making stronger storage cells. We can make dense storage for energy. We can also make a few cards as well as some crafting units. These are going to be used for our auto crafting. However, I'm actually going to need to research that before I get into it because frankly I have no clue how that is going to work. And in the meantime, I'm just going to throw those into the press so we can make a few of them so we have a few in bulk. However, we're going to need to get better usage, or rather better production of our silicon. And actually, now that I think of it, all we need to do is send sand into our sag mill, right? I think that's the case. Let's try. Wow, that's fast. So we could, in theory, just make this on demand. But that's not really fun, and I can probably easily enough do some sort of automated method for that. And the zombies are already coming. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of EEPower. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for future episodes. Actually, what I'm interested in is how is our feed situation going now that it's... Well, I hope it's all gone, because if it... a lot of people are in love. WayofTime here. Signing off. Have a wonderful day. Checking the babies. There be babies.